Even though I'm very excited for Avengers Doomsday, I have a few major problems with the movie that have me really worried about it. Let me explain. My first problem is simply the fact that we're going from a major event film in Avengers Endgame to another major Avengers event with Doomsday with no smaller scale movie in between. Like, I feel like people forget before Infinity War, the Avengers were just a team of 6 people, and like, yeah, in Age of Ultron, you add on kind of Vision, Wanda, and Quicksilver, but it's still a small team. Like, I think the MCU as a whole and the next two Avengers event films would benefit if we had a smaller Avengers movie in between with like Sam Wilson, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, characters like this. Like, yeah, I love the massive event films like Infinity War and Endgame, but I don't want every Avengers movie going forward to have like 70 different characters in it for people to care about them. Which leads me right into my second problem, is that none of our new main Avengers led by Sam Wilson even really know each other or have ever interacted on screen together. Now, yes, I know in the first Avengers movie in 2012, none of these characters besides like Iron Man and Black Widow really knew each other or interacted on screen before. But the big difference is that the entire point of the 2012 Avengers film is that these characters don't know each other and they're all coming together to form the Avengers and interact for the first time. That's literally the entire purpose of this movie. That's completely different than having your new Avengers team form and meet each other really for the first time in a film that again has like 50 other characters. I'm not even exaggerating. That's how many other people are going to be in this movie. Which leads me right into my third point, is the fact that I don't think this movie is going to be able to handle and balance its characters as well as Infinity War and Endgame does, because again, way more characters, and the way Infinity War handles all these characters is kind of genius because it really still focuses in on our main three from the Avengers. It takes Tony, Cap, and Thor and splits them off into 3 different factions or teams. The reason it doesn't feel overwhelming with all these different characters meeting each other for the first time is because we, the audience, already know how a lot of these characters interact with each other. Like, for example, we had 2 smaller Avengers films where we saw Tony and Bruce together, so when we see them meeting Doctor Strange and Wong, who we saw together in their solo film, it just makes sense because you don't have to explain the dynamic between each of these duos on their own. We just have to introduce them to each other. Same with like Thor and the Guardians. Like, the Guardians had 2 solo movies. Thor had been in 5 MCU projects by this point already. Seeing Captain America and Black Widow reunite with Vision and Wanda again makes sense. We've already seen all these characters interact before. And again, of course, the Russo brothers are going to have something cooked up that's going to make it make sense, but it's not going to be anywhere as satisfying as Infinity War and Endgame because again, we don't even know the main Avengers team. So watching like Sam Wilson's Captain America, Captain Marvel, Black Panther, and Spider-Man, all characters that have never interacted, meeting like the Fantastic Four, for example, isn't really going to be as satisfying as those previous matchups. And again, you got characters from multiple universes like the Fantastic Four and the Fox X-Men. Like, it feels like we're just going to be mashing together action figures, but again, maybe they're smarter than me and have something special cooking up. But to me, it feels like Marvel's just rushing out the next Infinity War and Endgame level event without doing any of the legwork first of building up to the smaller Avengers films. And another reason it's not going to be as balanced is because the entire purpose was Infinity War is literally getting rid of like half the characters to make it another smaller scale Avengers movie for Endgame. Avengers Doomsday is doing the complete opposite, or at least that's what we all assume, because Secret Wars seems like it's going to be an even bigger event with even more characters and cameos somehow. Again, I am a huge Marvel fan. I'm excited for these movies nonetheless, but I just am very worried it's going to be a very messy film. But I think an even bigger problem with this movie is that doing Secret Wars and Doctor Doom this soon after Endgame kind of sets the bar impossibly high for future Avengers and team-up movies. Like, with this movie having one of, if not the most famous Marvel villain of all time in Doctor Doom, having characters from every single Marvel universe all colliding into one, how on earth are they going to make people care about a smaller scale Avengers movie in the future now? I feel like that's why movies like the Thunderbolts and the Fantastic Four, both team-up films, are kind of failing, is because people now only care about super team-ups where you see every character in the world, and I'm worried that's going to really backfire on Marvel down the line if they try to do like an Avengers movie versus a smaller villain like the Maker or someone. Like, we know we're getting an X-Men reboot. Are people going to care about like the X-Men versus Magneto after we've just seen like the biggest event of all time? And I really just think Marvel kind of panicked with the recent failures at the box office and like, oh yeah, we got to get the next huge event out there just like Infinity War and Endgame and print like $2 billion at the box office. Or even just doing something simple like in 2026 you kind of have like a new Civil War movie that's Sam Wilson's Avengers and the new Avengers kind of colliding and fighting with each other, fleshing out again all these different characters, new dynamics between these different teams. Then you have like 2027 Doomsday, 2028 Secret Wars. I feel like it would even then be a lot more fleshed out. Like I said, I am still obviously very excited for Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. These are going to be absolutely crazy to experience in theaters, even if it is just like action figures mashing against each other. These are just some of my concerns. Let me know what your thoughts on this are in the comments below, or any other worries you have about the movie. If you want to hear about the latest crazy leaks for Avengers Doomsday, make sure to click the video above my head right now.